Okay, hello. Today I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can customize your car in Southwest Florida. From the speed of your car to the appearance of it, absolutely everything. I'm going to go through everything. Everything. Because as you might know, there's a lot of weird things. For example, drivetrain, steering. You probably have no idea what all of this means. But yeah, that's what I'm doing today. Subscribe and enjoy. Right, so just before we get started, there's a little thing you need to know. Around the map, there are 3 different locations to customize your car. So this first one is by the dealership. Second one is Sussies, and that is on the main road near the Publix little area. And the third one is actually very close. It's Sunset Performance, and this is on the road that goes all the way down to Civilian Spawn, or if it makes it easier, right next to the fire station. Second thing you need to know, some customization requires a game pass, so that will be things like car colors plus, car reflectance, advanced tuning. Not too expensive, so I'd recommend getting them. However, let's begin. So let me grab a car I've never customized. So this is the car I want to choose. Some cars you can't customize, for example police cars, fire engines, you can't do anything with them. Anyway, so we're gonna pop our car here. This little blue thing at the bottom is gonna pop up. It's gonna say customize. Click that, and now we have 3 different categories. So the first one is paint, next one is performance, and the next one is wheels. So we'll start with paint. This category is pretty self-explanatory. We've got factory paint, so these are the ones without the game pass you can use. We've got custom paint, so this is when you have the game pass, you can make any color you like, any color we want. Change the lightness as well. And then reflectance, self-explanatory. You can change the reflectance, but again, you need the game pass for that. So yeah, I'm sure you know how to use that. So real quick, let's just look at wheels. Wheels, you know, as you can see, you have all the different subheadings with all the different styles of wheel. If you want to see how it looks on your car, just click on it. Pretty simple. Next is performance. Now this is like the beefy bit. As you can see, we have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and also stock. Stock is what everyone has when they first get the car. Essentially, the higher the stage, the more power your engine has, the more acceleration and speed you're going to have. Forced induction is next. Now, obviously, I'm no car expert, so I'm going to tell you everything in Southwest Florida terms. Turbocharging stage 1, 2, 3, very similar to engines. Obviously, the higher you go, the more power it has. But essentially, what forced induction does is increases the horsepower of your car, and obviously, thus, increasing the speed. Brakes, you probably all know. You've got stock, which is the one you have. You've got street, sport, and race. The street obviously is essentially level 1. As you can see, it adds a bit of braking. Sport adds a lot, and well, race adds the most. So this toggle down here, like I said at the start, I'm no professional, but essentially what I assume is when you put it to rear, there's going to be more braking at the back, and when you put it to the front, there's going to be more braking at the front. Obviously, I'm not 100% sure how accurate this is in game, but that's what it is. For weight, street reduction is going to remove 100 pounds, sport reduction is going to remove 250 pounds, and then race reduction is going to remove 500 pounds off of your car. And what benefit does this have? All it's going to do is make your speed a bit quicker. Pretty self-explanatory. If you have less weight, you're going to move quicker. Tires, I don't really need to go through. Drift, you're going to drift more. Grip, you're going to stick to the ground a bit more. Transmission essentially means it decreases the shift time, so how quickly your gears change. So obviously the lowest, this is like the engine level 1, 2, 3. Street is going to be just a little bit of acceleration because obviously it could change it a bit quickly. And if we go to race, you can see the acceleration is a much more quicker because there is less time between changing gears, meaning we can go quicker in a quicker amount of time. Suspension, you need a game pass for suspension. Now this can probably seem a bit intimidating, so you're gonna have to allow me to explain this. It might be a bit confusing. Ask me any questions below. So as you can see, we have rear suspension and front suspension. Basically what stiff means is when you're toggling this, you're adjusting how stiff the suspension is. When it hits a bump, how is it going to react? Is it going to be really stiff and solid, or is it going to flow nicely over it? Damp, so essentially what that means is when you go over a bump, how quickly is it going to return back to its normal height? Is it going to bounce, or is it going to straight away go back to how it was? Pre-comp right here is the adjustment on how compressed the spring is. So obviously if you think of a spring, it's probably like this. Got a spring in my hand right now, but basically obviously you can have a spring that's like this, that's really compressed, or you can have a really springy spring. Do you get what I'm saying? And that links very closely with stiffness. Does that sort of make sense? I hope so. The extension limit is how far the spring will extend without any weight on the car. So obviously if you have no weight, if you've removed all your weight, that will affect your suspension. The compression limit down here is how far this suspension will compress. So imagine you're going really quick and how far it's going to compress against the floor like that. Oh, and by the way, these apply for both of them. So everything I've just said applies for front as well. So obviously the front and the back. You can make the back really high or really low. It doesn't matter. You can choose. By the way, if you do anything that you don't want, just click stock and it'll return back to normal. Wheel width, I don't think it makes much difference, but all it does is just adjust the width of the wheels. You can see like that. Drivetrain, essentially what power does is makes your car more slidey when you've got lots of throttle. So imagine you're going down a road, some cars will be like really like sturdy, won't they? And then some cars will be really slidey. Coast is the complete opposite. So what it means is when you're de-accelerating in power, that's when your car will be slidey. You know, if you want to go around a corner, you're slowing down, I'm just going to slide around nicely. Preload is, now I'm not really sure how to explain preload, but I'll explain from the document. So preload is just how aggressive the differential will lock. For example, if you wanted to completely open differential, you would set the preload low. If you wanted a welded differential, always locked, you would set it high. Sorry, I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I don't really understand it either. And obviously, like suspension, you have it on the rear and the front. With steering, first of all, the steer speed is how quickly your wheel will move. Return speed is how quickly the wheel will go back to straight. Steer decay, which is this one right here. Basically, what you set it to is your vehicle's, I don't know, around your vehicle's highest mile per hour. So if I set it to 218, when this car got to 218 miles per hour, essentially the wheel would start to shake a bit. Pretty cool. Nice detailed thing. The steer ratio on steering lock. Basically, what this means is 90 represents 9 degrees. So every time you turn your wheel 9 degrees, the wheel, or this wheel down here, will turn 1 degree. So every time you turn the steering wheel 9 degrees, your actual vehicle wheel will turn 1 degree. So that would basically mean 9 to 1. Lock to lock is just how many degrees you're able to turn your wheel. So it could be 360, could be 90. I'm not really able to explain Aquaman. I got no idea what it means. But do what you want with it. Steer damp over here is very similar to steer decay. The minimum steer decay basically means when you're at a high speed, it effectively changes how far you can steer your wheel. So that means less sliding around, less crashes really. Hopefully that doesn't make sense. And then finally, gearing. If you have your gear all the way to the right at short, essentially what that means is you're going to have a quicker acceleration, but a slower top speed. And long means slow, very slow acceleration, a really high top speed. Does that make sense? So do what you want with that. That is the end of the video. Hopefully it did help you out. If it did, please do consider subscribing. Very interesting stuff, very complicated. I'm sorry if I explained it badly. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye. Oh yeah, subscribe by the way.